Okay, guys, so in today's class, we will be continuing with the concept of looping. So, we'll be seeing what are the different types of loops that are there in Python. So, I hope you guys remember the last session. So, the previous session we covered what is loop, what are the two categories of loop, that is an entry control loop, what is an exit control loop, and what are the different types of loops that is there in a programming language. Like we have the while loop, we have the for loop, and we have the do while loop. So in that, which is entry control, which is exit control, in which situations you should make use of which loops. So all these concepts we covered in the previous session. And by ending of the session, I told you that in Python we have only two types of loop. We have the while loop, and then we have the for loop. So only two types of loop. We do not have do while loop. So do while loop is not there in Python. Okay, so first let us start with the while loop. So how is my while loop going to be working? So you already know some key points. You know that while loop is an entry control loop. So it is an entry control loop. Good. So how does an entry control loop work? So first time when the condition is true. So at first it will check the condition. Every time before entering into the loop, the condition will be checked. So as long as the condition is true, the loop will keep on getting executed. So as long as the condition is true, loop will be executed. And once the condition becomes false, the loop will stop. That's all. It's very simple form of a loop. Once the condition becomes false, loop will stop its execution. Okay, now how should I write my while loop? What is the syntax? How I can write my while loop? Okay, so the syntax is very simple. Okay, so here what you're going to do, while, which is a keyword here. So while is a keyword. So following the while, we have to specify the condition. So while keyword, give a space, following while, specify the condition. Then after that, you are going to give a colon. So here the same concept what we have used in your if else conditions. So here we, since we don't have the curly braces, we don't have the blocks, we use the concept of indents. So to create a block, what we do? We use the concept of your indents. So all the lines of code that you want to be belonging to this while loop, we have to write it with an indent. So one tab space or four spaces, it's a constant thing which we use for the indent. So you have to just indent that, and then we have to write our lines. So we will be writing the statements. So whatever statement, whatever piece of code that you want to be repeating, that you want to be repeated, you are going to write insert. Statement mean nothing but the code. That's all. It's a very simple syntax for your while loop. So while, you will specify the condition. So as long as this condition is true. So this is the condition that is going to get evaluated. So as long as this condition is true, whatever statements you are giving inside of the while loop will keep on getting executed again and again. So that is how this loop is going to be functioning for us. Okay, now what other things you have to know with regards to the while loop. So please remember, any while loop that you are going to write, okay, any while loop that you are going to write, it must consist of, so it must consist of the following. First, it must have a initial value. It must always have an initial value. Second thing, it should have a valid test condition. Okay, and the third thing, and the third point is the while loop should have an iteration. The iteration part. Of course, the iteration path can be an increment or it can be a decrement also. That is our wish. How we are going to write the program is entirely our choice. So you can either increment the value or you can decrement the value. But it should have the iteration part inside it. So every while loop that you are going to write actually must consist of these three parts. So it should have an initial value, then it should have a valid test condition, and it should have the iteration part inside it. Right, so let us try some examples. Keeping this syntax in mind, let us try an example. So first, what did I say? It should have an initial value. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable called I. So I'm creating a variable called I. This initial value or the starting value of I am assigning it as 1. So the starting value of I is 1. Okay, now I'm going to write my condition. So I am saying while, okay, see, while is a keyword. As I told you, it's a keyword, so the color is changing for us. So while, what is the condition? I said the second thing is it must have a valid test condition, and that is what our syntax also says. It should have a condition. So the condition what I'm going to specify is as long as the I value is less than or equal to 5. So as long as the I value is less than equal to 5, whatever I am going to give inside the loop should keep on happening. Okay, so what am I going to give? Inside this loop, I am saying print I love Python. That's it. Inside of the loop, I am giving a print statement. I am saying this print statement has to be repeated every time. So whenever this loop is going to get executed, this print statement has to run. Okay, after this, what I am giving? After the print statement, I am saying I is equal to I plus I is equal to I plus 1. So this is nothing but my iteration part. That is either increment or decrement. I can give anything. In this situation, I am using the increment operation. So I am incrementing the value. Right. So let us execute this program. Let us run this program. See what is the output we are getting here. See, it is printing I love Python, I love Python, I love Python like this. So suppose if I am saying as long as it is less than 50, now I run the program. See, I'm able to print it 50 times. So you want 500? Give how much ever time you want. The same work. Otherwise, what I have to do if I'm not using looping, what I have to do? I have to keep on writing this print statement again and again and again. So instead of that, my work is now becoming very simple using the concept of my loop. See, no matter how many times you are going to give, it is going to execute it. See, I said 500 times. So 500 times it is printing I love Python. So let us understand how this is working for us. Okay, I know now the program is working. Okay, let us understand how it is working. So I am saying initially the I value is 1. So the starting I value is 1. Okay, first time my loop is going to get executed. So first time when the loop begins starting, what it is going to check? 1 less than equal to 50. Okay, let us keep it as 550 is a very huge number for us to, 50 or 500. Okay, so I am checking. What is the condition it is checking? I less than or equal to 5. So here my I value is 1. So 1 is it less than or equal to 5? So now my condition is true. So now my condition is true. So when my condition is true, what did I say? It will go inside. So the loop is going to get executed. The body of the loop. This is nothing but the body of the loop. So it is going to go inside this. Now what it is going to do? It is going to print I love Python. Okay, so first time the print operation will happen once. Okay, after printing, what it is doing? So it is true. So once it is true, what is going to happen? It is going to print. Okay, so after printing, what is the next step? I. I is equal to I plus 1. So current I value is 1. 1 plus 1, I becomes 2. Okay, now the new I value is 2. So it will go again to the loop. Again, it will test the condition. Remember, it is an entry controlled loop. Every time before executing the body of the loop, every time my condition will be checked. If my condition is true only, it will go inside the loop itself. So again, so what is going to happen? Second time. Second time, my loop will get executed. So what is going to happen? I value is 2. 2 less than equal to 5. Still my condition is true. So as my condition is true, what it is going to do? It is going to print. It is going to first execute the print statement. And what is the print statement says? It says I love Python. So execute it. Print it second time. So after printing, what is going to happen? What is the next statement? I is equal to I plus 1. So what is the current I value? 2. So 2 plus 1, I is going to become 3. So now again check the condition. So now the third time loop is going to run. So now I value is what? 3. So 3 less than equal to 5. Again my condition is, so if my condition is true, what will happen? So first it is going to print the statement. So print the statement means it's going to go and print I love Python. Third time successfully printed. So after printing, what is the next statement? I is equal to I plus 1. So current I value is 3. So 3 plus 1, I becomes 4. I becomes 4. So again, go to the starting of the loop. This time what it is going to do? Again, it is going to check my condition. So what is the condition this time? 4 less than or equal to 5. Again, it is true. 4 is a value which is lesser than 5. So my condition is still true. So my condition still true. What it going to do? Print. Execute the print statement first. So executing the print statement, what will happen? It will just come and it is going to print it. So after printing, what is going to happen? Increment the I value by 1. So current value is 4. 4 plus 1, 5. Yes, 4 plus 1, 5. Correct. So now what is the next step it is going to do? Sorry, first time I forgot to print it, right? Yes. So next what it is going to do? Fifth time. Fifth time the loop will get executed. So now what it says, 5 less than or equal to 5. Still my condition is true. I am saying less than or equal to. So it can be a value which is lesser than 5 or same as 5. So again my condition is true. So it is going to come. It is going to print again. So one more time it is going to print the value. Done. So after printing, what it is going to do? Again, increment the I value. So current I value is 5. So now I will become 6. Again, come to the loop. But this time, my loop body will not get executed. Why? My condition becomes false. So sixth time, when the loop is going to get executed, when it is going to check the condition, it will say 6 less than equal to 5. So here my condition becomes false. So once the condition becomes false, what will happen? The loop will not go inside. Entry control loop. Only till the condition is true, it will go inside. Otherwise, it will not go inside. Now what happens? The loop will stop. So how many times it has got printed? 5 times it has got printed for me. So this is how my program will be getting executed. So this is a simple example of how my while loop is going to get executed. So remember, every while loop you are writing should have an initial value. So I is equal to 1. This is my initial value. It should have a valid test condition. So this I less than equal to 5 is my test condition. And it should have the increment or the decrement part mentioned here. Right. So let us look into a few more examples. Okay, let us try the while loop with my strings. Let us try my while loop with the string. I know the syntax. I know this is the syntax. So let me take this out. Now we will do it with a string. So I am saying yes is equal to input of. I am saying yes is equal to input of. You get the value from the user. Or else if you want, you can type your own values. It is your choice. So let me say I am typing Java. I wanted simple word. So small word. So I am giving Java. Okay. Now I am saying, okay, initially I am saying I value 0. Okay, then I'm saying while, okay, I is less than, what is the condition I should have? I want to print this entire string. Okay, so what is the purpose of this loop is I want to print this string. You may ask, ma'am, for that we can do like this itself. If I print this, my entire string is going to get printed. So why should I lose a loop over here? But here, when I print yes, see how it is getting printed? Continuously. The word is getting printed continuously. I am saying I don't want like this. I wanted to print it like this. J in one line, A in one line. Okay, then V, then A. I want my output to be printed in this fashion. Each and every character separately in one line. I want to print like this. So how I can do this? How I can achieve this? One method. One method of doing this. Of course, I have to use the print statement s of 0. I know strings are index based. I hope you remember. Otherwise, use our data types video. Okay, please go through the data types video, and that strings we have explained the full concept, how it is getting stored internally, how is the index going to work. So use that video as a reference in case you want a refreshing session. Okay, so now we know that whatever string values we are storing, it is going to get stored in form of indexes. So I'm going to say J, A, sorry, A, B, A. What it is going to get stored? In form of indexes. 0, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be my positive index. You're right. So you know that in Python supports both positive and negative indexes for me. So this is going to be my positive index. My negative index is going to be like this, right? -2 and -1. So negative index starts with -1, positive index starts with 0. We have already know all these things, right? So now if I want to print character by character, what I have to do? I have to use a print statement like this, right? Now I have to say s of 1, then I have to say s of 2. So till the end of the string, till the end of the string, I have to give each and every index value like this, s of 3. So when I give like this, what will happen? When I run this, individual indexes, I am accessing here individual index. So when I print yes, it will print the entire string. When I say yes of 0, so within the square brackets, what we are mentioning here is the index value. So whatever value that is stored in the index position, that value is going to get printed for us. Okay, this is a small word, only 4 characters, so I easily printed. So I easily printed s of 0, s of 1 like that. So if I am saying having a word like this, Java programming language. If I want to print this, how many print statements you are going to go? Suppose I'm having even bigger string. This is my string. See what it says. Java programming language is the world's best programming language. I want to print each and every character separately. Practically, it is not possible for us to print each and every index positions like this. So we need an alternate solution. So we have to look for an alternate solution. That alternate solution is nothing but my loops. So what is the advantage of my loop, or what is the purpose of my loop? I want to repeat any statements again and again. Then I will always go for the concept of looping. So that is what I am going to do here also. So see what I am going to do. First I am saying I is equal to 0. Why I am saying I 0? Because my index value is always going to start with 0. So I am going to give the I value as 0. So here my I is going to represent the index. So please understand what is the purpose of the I. The I variable is going to represent my index positions. Sorry. Okay, so what is the next step? I want to find the length of the string. I want to know the length of the string, because then only I will know how many times the loop has to keep going. So for that, I need to know the length of the string. So how to find the length of the string? So I am going to say n is equal to len of yes. So here, what is a len? Len is a predefined function. So what is len? Len is a predefined function. So whatever variable name you are going to pass inside the len, okay, it is going to tell how many elements are present inside. So how many elements are present inside? It is going to return that number. That number I am storing it inside the variable n. Let us say, for example, let me print n. I am saying print n. Okay, now len, if I run this program, see what it says. 4. So Java consists of 4 characters. Exactly correct. So I am saying now Java program. Now I'm going to run this. See what it says. It says it is 12. How 12? Java consists of 4 characters. The space in between occupies 1 character, so 5. Then program. So then whatever, how many characters are there in the word program? 7 characters are there. So 7 plus 5, total 12 characters. So that is the way of my len function. So it is going to tell me the number of characters that is present inside the string. So any special characters, any symbols, whatever you are giving, the blank spaces, everything will be treated as one character. So this is the len function going to be doing for us. Okay, now let us go back to our while loop. So now I am going to say while, okay, I value is less than n. As long as I value is less than n, this loop has to keep on going. Okay, because what is going to be the n value? N value is going to have 4. Right, n value is going to have the number 4 because that is the length of the string. So now what am I going to say? Here, what are the index values that is there? 0 to 3. 0 to 3. So that is why I am giving the statement like this. As long as I is less than n. So as long as I value is less than 4, the loop has to keep on running. Because when it reaches 4, where is the index? I don't have index 4 at all. So what value I will print? Nothing. So that is why you are writing the condition like this. Right. Next, inside, what you are going to do? I am saying print yes, because yes is the variable that is holding my string value. S is the variable that has my string value, right? So S of, so what we have to do? We have to pass the index position here. So how did I write that print statement? S of 0, S of 1, S of 2. So now, which variable is going to point to my index? The variable I. So here you are going to say S of I. You remember the print statement? How did I write? S of 0 first print statement. Second print statement was S of 1. Third was S of 2. Like that. So here, since the index value is maintained by this variable I am going to say S of. Now, what is the next step? So what are the 3 parts of the while loop? I should have the initial value, I should have the condition, and I should have the iteration. Here, what are you going to do? It has to move. I'm saying the starting index is 0. So where is the next index? Where it has to move? Index value is always incremented by 1. Right? So what I'm going to do? I'm going to say I plus is equal to 1. Remember? Assignment operator, arithmetic assignment operator. So shorthand. Instead of writing I is equal to I plus 1, I will make use of my shorthand operator. So I will simply say I plus is equal to 1. Done. So now let us execute our program. Let us run our program. See, my output works fine. First time I'm printing the entire S value. So it is printing me as Java. Second time I'm running the loop. So when I'm running the loop, see how it is getting each and every character separately. Suppose you can try it for any type of string. Big string, small string, doesn't bother. So run it, see what happens. So Java programming, this is the entire string. See each and every character separately getting printed. So even the space, I told you, the space is also treated as a character only. So even the space also is getting. So this is how I will be making use of a while loop with a string value. Okay, with a string value. So now, okay, let us say another example. Let us take another example. Let us say I'm creating a list. Again, I'm saying I'm going to create a list. So you already know how to create a list. Again, guys, if you have any doubts, please refer to our data types video. Okay, so within the square brackets, comma separated value. So what is my list? List is nothing but a collection. So inside one single variable, I am going to store multiple values. Inside a single variable, storing multiple values. So what I'm going to do? I'm saying 10. Then the second value, I am saying C. Okay, then the third value I'm saying 45.25. Then I'm saying another value, say I'm saying 10 plus 2j. Okay, now let us give one more value. Inside, let us say another string. Okay, so this is my list. So these are nothing but my list values. So how is this going to be stored? How is this going to be stored internally? So remember, just like my strings, my list is also index based. Same concept, whatever we saw with the strings, my list is also index based, like my string. So here each and every element, so this is one element, this 10 is one element, the C is one element, because each and every element I am separating with a comma. So this is my first element, this is my second element, this is my third element, this is my fourth element, this entire thing is my fifth element. So how is this going to get stored? It is going to get stored based on the indexes. So 0, 1, this is going to have the value as 2, then this is going to have the value as 3, then this entire string is going to have the value as 4. So same way I have the negative indexes also. So same way we can have negative indexes also. So now what I'm going to do is, okay, now let me just show you. So I am saying print s of 0. Okay, then I'm saying print s of 1. So print s of, sorry, yeah, print s of 3 and print s of 4. Done. So let us run the program. So see what happens when I print the entire s, which is nothing but my list. How is it getting printed? Within the square brackets, every value, comma separated value, it is getting printed like this. Now, when I say s of 0, what is coming? Actually, what is the thing that should be holding? The value 10. That is what is getting displayed. When I say s of 1, what is it according to our thing? See, yes, I'm getting that. So when I say s of 2, what is there in second index position? 45.25, that is what is coming. Again, the third index position, again the fourth index position. So now instead of writing all these prints, what I'm going to do? I'm going to make use of my while loop. Same concept, same coding. What I used previously, using the same code here also. Right. So here also I am making use of the len function. So just remember, len function is a common function that you can make use of for a string, for a list, for a set, for a tuple, for a dictionary. So this len function is common for these 5 types. I can use the len function on a list, I can use it on a tuple, I can use it on a sets, I can use it on a dictionary, and I can also make use of it on a strings. Right. So what is it going to do? It is always going to return a number. And what is that number? That number is nothing but the number of elements that is present within it. So within the variable, how many elements are there? That is what my len function is going to be returning. So same concept, same program, I'm going to execute again. I've not made any changes since everything is index based. Nothing to do. See, my program works just fine for me. No problem. So how is this getting executed? Just remember, first time when my program is going to be running for me. What is the I value I have given? I have given the I value as 0. So first loop. First time the loop is running. What is the condition? I, which is nothing but 0, 0 less than, what is the n value? N value is nothing but 5. Because there are 5 elements inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Totally there are 5 elements. So n value is going to be 5. So 0 less than 5. My condition is true. So if my condition is true, what is going to happen? It is going to come inside. It is going to come inside the loop. Okay, once it comes inside the loop, what is it going to do? What is it going to do? I am asking it to print. Okay, what I am going to print? So I am saying, okay, print. What is that it is going to print? Yes, which is nothing but the name of my variable. Yes of 0. Because s of I means, what is the I value now? 0. So s of 0 it is going to print. So after printing s of 0, what it is going to do? It is going to increment the I value by 1. Sorry guys. So the I value is going to become 1. Next time, second time when the loop is running. So second execution of the loop. Now what is the I value? 1. So 1 less than 5. Again, my condition is. So if my condition is true, what is it going to do? Print S of I. So S of I, what is the I value now? 1. So S of 1. So whatever is there in the index position 1, that is going to get printed. So after printing, I is equal to I plus 1. So increment the I value. Move the index position to the next position. Move the index to the next position. So third time. So third loop execution. So what is going to happen here? My I value is 2. So 2 less than 5. Again, my condition is still true. So when my condition is true, it is going to go inside the body. So now it is going to print S of 2. So whatever is there in the second index position is going to get printed for me. So after printing, again, it is going to move to the next index position. It is going to move the I value. It is going to increment the I value by 1. Okay, now the fourth loop. Now the fourth loop. So what is going to happen in the fourth loop? I value is 3. So 3 less than 5. Again, my condition is true. So my condition is true. So it is going to go inside the loop and it is going to print S of I. So again, S of I is S of 3. So S of 3, the value it is going to print. Then again, increment the I value by 1. So I will become 4. So now the loop will again go fifth time. Fifth time the loop execution. So what is the condition? 4 less than 5. Yes, 4 is a number which is less than 5. So my condition is still true. So go inside. Print. What you are going to print? S of I. Again, what is the current I value? 4. So S of 4. Whatever is there in the fourth index position, that value is going to get printed. Next, again increment the I value by 1. So your I is going to become 5. Now, sixth time when the loop is going to come inside. So what is the condition going to be? 5 less than, is 5 less than 5? No. So now my condition is false. So now my condition becomes false. So again I said entry control loop. So once the condition is false, the loop will no longer get executed. So the execution of the loop will be stopped here. So there I go. This is how my while loop is going to be working. So it is not that you can use while loop for only numbers or only loops or only strings. You can use it for anything. It is just depending on the program how you are going to execute it. Suppose if I want to generate only some numbers, so what I will do? I will say I is equal to 1. So as long as while I is less than or equal to 10, I will simply say print I, comma, I will say end is equal to one space. I don't want line, I want everything to be printed in one single line with a space in between. So I will say I plus equals to 1. Now you run this program, see what is the output going to come. See, it is going to print the numbers 1 to 10. So anything according to your program's requirement, you can make the while loop do any of the work. Any work as you wish. You wanted to make work with the strings, we can do it. You want to work with the list, we can do it. Or you simply want to just print some statements, we can do it. You want to print some numbers, yes, we can do it. Suppose I want to print only the even numbers. I want to print only the even numbers. Okay, so I will say I starting value is 2. So start the I value from 2 because 2 is a even number. So 0, generally we may say it is even, but 0 we don't consider as a even number or a odd number. We just give it as 0, right? So normally even number we say 2, 4, 6, 8 like that only. So here what I'm going to say is the even number. So 2 is a even number. So as long as I want to print the even numbers between 1 to 10. So what I'm going to say here, I am saying I plus is equal to 2. So see now what happens. What is going to happen? Initial I value is 2. So it is going to come inside the loop. It is going to print 2. After printing 2, what is the next line I'm saying? I plus is equal to 2. So what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? It means I is equal to I plus 2. So whatever is the current I value, that value plus 2. So what is the current I value? 2. So 2 plus 2, 4. So now the I value will become 4. So 4 less than 10, condition true. So it is going to come inside. So print the I value. After that, move to the next line. I plus is equal to 2. So the current I value is 2. So 2 plus 2, it is going to go for 6. So as soon as the I value becomes 6, it will go inside. 6 less than 10. Yes, condition is true. Come inside, print it. So it is going to print 6 for us. So then again, 6 plus 2, 8. Come here, condition 8 less than 10. True. Come inside, print 8. Then again, 8 plus 2, 10. Come here. 10 less than or equal to 10. Yes, still my condition is true. So come inside, print 10. Now again, 10 plus 2, 12. Come here, check. 12 less than equal to 10. False, break out of the loop. So this is how your while loop will get executed always. Initial value, test condition, and the iteration part. Right. So now what I want you to do is, I want you guys to try a small program. Okay, try a program to print the string in a reverse order using while loop. Remember, you have to print a string in reverse order using while loop. Okay, try and share me the code. Say for example, I am saying yes is equal to like this. This is my string. So when I run the loop, how was it getting printed? So it was getting printed like this. So it was saying py, then t h, sorry, t h o and n. So like this I was printed and I showed you. This is what we did. Now what I want you to do is, I want to print it in the reverse order. So how is my thing going to be coming? I want you to print it like this. N, then O, then H, then T. Okay, of course, my P. Like this, I want you to print using the while loop. Don't use any other method. Don't use any built-in functions. Don't use your, what do you say, slicing, this, that, and all. Only using the concept of while loop, I want you to give this a try. Okay, done. So, what is the next thing? What is the next thing you have to know about the while loop? Very, very important, the do's and don'ts of the while loop. What are the things you must not do with a while loop? Okay, because while loop is one dangerous thing in one way. What that is infinite loop. We have something which is called as an infinite loop. So what do you mean by an infinite loop? Infinite loop means a loop which is never going to end at all. So the loop is going to keep on getting executed again and again. So a never ending loop. Never ending loop is what we call as an infinite loop. So with while loop, so whenever you're going to write the while loop, there are lot of chances for your loop to go into an infinite way if you are not writing it properly. Okay, if you are not writing the loop properly, then there is a chance that your loop will go into an infinite loop. So what are the possibilities? Okay, let us take some small examples here. So let us take the previous example. Okay, let me take the previous example itself. Printing all the even numbers. See what I did here? I did not have the initial part. I'm sorry, I did not have the iteration part. Increment part, I have taken it out. So when I run this program, see what happens. See, what is it happening? It's going to like this only it is going. Why? See, the initial value of I is 2. So 2 is, 2 value is less than 10. The condition is true. So it is going to come inside the loop and it is going to print 2. Fine, very good. After printing 2, what happens? I have not incremented the value at all. So I have neither incremented nor decremented. So the I value is always going to remain as 2 only. The I value is not going to change at all in my program. It is always going to remain as 2. So that is why this program is going to go into an infinite loop. One second, guys. Okay, so this is the reason why this loop is going to go into an infinite format. So always remember, the while loop should have all the three parts. Otherwise, this is the possibility. Right. Now, coming to the second variation. Coming to the second variation, what I'm going to say is, I am saying while, okay, while true. While true, I am simply saying print I. Okay, so I am saying while true, print high. So what do you mean by true? True is a keyword. True means what? I am saying no, I'm not specifying any condition. I am myself saying the condition is true. I'm using the word true here. So it means the condition is true. The condition is always going to remain true. So when you execute this, see what happens. Sorry. This is a mistake of, yeah. Okay. Now when you run this, see what happens. See, because what is the entry control loop process? As long as the condition is true, whatever the body of the loop you are giving, that will keep on getting executed again and again. So according to this condition, what is happening? I am saying while true. That means this condition is always true. So the loop is going to keep on running into an infinite format. So this is another common thing where we will be facing the infinite format of the. Okay. Now with this, I'm just wrapping this session. Okay, I will tell you about more formats in our next session. What are the other things with regards to the while loop? We will be continuing in our next session.